Hello, hello. Today we are building some things on a new map that I have not shown before. This has been what I've been working on this past weekend. Just this pretty flat area up here. But wait, it goes down, and you might notice this is also, it's a skyblock island pretty much. Except it's absolutely massive. Like, look at the shadow it creates on here. And the goal is to make it terraformed all the way down and make it actually look solid. So that's the goal for today. And we're also, if I take a quick potion of night vision, we are adding things like granite, andesite, coal, copper, iron, and stuff to this island to make it look cool, or look good at least. So, well, for one, this looks weird. What if I totally just ditch all of this stuff? Honestly, that makes it look better, I find. It just helps it make it look less like poppy-outy. Maybe it does that. Yeah, we'll just let it do that. Anyway, that's not really the point of what we're doing right now. We are going to be doing some. We're going to be continuing the layers on this. I think we're at layer 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, we're on layer 12. So this is going to be layer 13. This mountain. This island, I should say. So it is what it is. It's an island. So this process consists of 4 main steps for each layer. The first is do the outline, which is what I'm doing now. This is probably the easiest part. It's the simplest and it'll take the least amount of time. The second part, we're going to add in all of the ores, which takes some thought and effort to put into it. And hopefully, it is a very important step, I'd say. Because you're making the really, part of the playing part of the map, like stuff that you're going to be playing through later. So it's good to have that stuff. The hope, right, is that we will slowly strengthen this out. Oh yeah, where was I? Talking about the steps of doing this. So step 1, obviously outline. Step 2, add in the ores. Step 3, add in the other types of stone, because right now we're just doing stone. And then step 4 is fill in the rest with straight up stone. Like we are hitting, we're hitting we're trying to make it very, I don't want to say like, it's very turny or shallow as opposed to steep, the opposite of steep. What's it supposed to look? It's supposed to look like if we were going upside down, it would look like some nice stairs that we could climb up. I want this to look like a naturally generated mountain that the game would have, you know? So it's like if I can mimic the terraining that Minecraft has with this kind of stuff, it will allow this to ultimately look better in the long haul. I don't know how well that's going to work. But that can also work, or we can move it to be there instead, and that would make it look a little interesting. Just makes this whole section of mountain look kind of weird. It's sort of pop outy, which I guess is okay to have at some points. But we need to reduce that pop outiness. So hopefully something like this should do the trick. My bad. So theoretically, as we get smaller with these things, it should take less time to do each individual layer because, it's just less stuff in general. Oh, there goes my night vision. Just a sec, I'm going to have to refill. It's less critical when you're doing the early layers of this, but, I kind of have to, just, get it down. It's not because, right now, I'm actually now below the mountain. Far enough that way it'll be too dark for me to see. So theoretically now we're getting shallower and shallower, which should end up meaning eventually we will reach the bottom where we can start getting more and more detailed with the things. Alright. So now that we've done our outline, it took about 10 minutes to do. We can now get started on the ores. So my philosophy with doing this is I want a lot of iron in this map. Like, the ore generation here is going to be, well, obviously it's manual, so it's not going to be like Minecraft's ore generation. What was that? I heard like a high. Never mind. Okay, so I don't know why I did that, but that was like a squeak or something. It was just my imagination. It was probably my imagination. Okay, anyway. So I'm trying to be fairly good with the sword generation, and the veins are probably going to be bigger than Minecraft, or smaller, I do have some single blocks of copper, redstone, whatever. And since it's such a small space, I kind of want this to be able to be used, I guess you could say. Like, kind of want to be able to get stuff from this. I've hidden veins of a lot of stuff. I think I've hidden like a 32 vein of iron, something crazy. And I've also hidden 1 veins of all 3. There's going to be redstone further down, I think, but there's not going to be any lapis or diamonds, especially. There's not going to be any diamonds in this map. And there won't be... Oh, I'm adding to a coal vein? No, I don't want to do that. Let's make it a small iron vein then. So this is the problem with tightly packed ore veins. If they're so easy to make, if they're so tightly packed together, then it's going to be tough to... tough to... I don't know how to say it. Okay, anyway. Oh, we can probably use some coal over here. Let's hope we're not breaking into a coal vein. Let's see. Ooh, you know what I can do? So we set up... Maybe not necessarily here, but we do like a... Wait, hold on. Not supposed to read this way. It's going to be... So we put an N. And then we put... Hold on. And then we put a J. And it's NJ. if you find the NJ vein, that's a pretty cool ore vein, right? The NJ vein. And I think this is a pretty good. Nope, never mind. This is probably a pretty good spot for a single block of coal. I think that's about step 2 completed, maybe. How's that look? Yeah, that's pretty good. So now let's get to this part. Okay, so that's the end of that vein. I know that because I marked it. Alright, I've marked that one as well, so that I hopefully won't continue it. Let's drink another potion. Okay. Bring in some more andesite. It's nice and big. Alright, we are nearing the most tedious part, coming up pretty soon. Most tedious step of doing this, which is filling it in with stone. And I mean, I have no clue how granite or andesite veins spawn in actual Minecraft, so I just plop it around randomly and hope it ends up looking good. Fingers crossed that, I mean, like, in any case, whatever it is, it's going to look the same. So, ore veins are relatively cubes, and those are other stone veins are relatively ellipses. Okay. Alright. That is looking pretty good. Maybe just a bit more granite. I mean, this just looks like a ton of granite. Mostly because, you know, it is a ton of granite. It's kind of going to look like a lot if it is a lot, you know? So now let me show you how I tend to do these. So I make a few relative cuts across the bottom of this, and then I will drive them across. So I'll fill this whole end in. I'm realizing now that this is usually the second cut I make. That I've kind of jumped the gun, but don't care. I'll fill this in anyway, just because. So it usually takes me about 45 minutes to an hour to finish any one of these layers. So theoretically, the fact that no, I'm only at 22 minutes into the stream and I'm already on step 4 of this is pretty good. I like steps 1 and 4 a lot. Steps 2 and 3 are not my thing. But if I didn't do them, it would just be a giant pile of stones, so I'd kind of like to get them done, you know? And obviously this whole thing isn't just going to be a flat thing at the top. It's going to have depth to it up there as well. It's just not... that's my next thing that I'm going to do once I've finished the mountain. Simply because I don't... I don't want to start on something else while I'm finishing this. Also, just for like a menial check. Get the most time-consuming things done first, which is going to be this. And also the least fun things done first, which is this, to get to the more fun things later on. I don't know if I'm going to be doing another one of these streams, though, just because, like, so Death Mountain, right? I love doing that on stream. It's amazing. But whenever I'm like, oh, I should work on Death Mountain, I don't, because it's a stream series, and I don't want to mess up the stream series. That's another reason why I don't play Breath of the Wild. Off stream, I haven't continued working on the shipwreck project. And I really want to get this done, because this is a video that I'd love to make. It's actually for a set of videos, but I'm not going to tell you which ones yet, because that's a surprise. Okay. Let's see. What else can I talk about? There's I don't know. Maybe we can talk about something completely unrelated to Minecraft. Talk about the new Pokemon remakes. There's new Pokemon remakes for, I mean, they're not really that new anymore, but they're for Diamond and Pearl. So if you're a Pokemon fan and you want to play your Pokemon on the Switch, then go ahead. I personally will not be getting these, despite my Nintendo DS breaking, and Diamond and Pearl being the only Pokemon games I like. Like, you know, in terms of games, like, you know, they're the only ones I would consider playing again and actually enjoy. Like, if I was going to pick a Pokemon game to play, that would be the one I'd pick. However, I'm not going to get the remakes because that's an excuse to pull out my DS. And I've also had some really fond memories with that game. And I don't want to play a remake that could mess with those memories, you know. I know this is completely off topic, but I just need something to talk about, so I'm talking about something that's completely off topic. Like, I mean, I've talked about me playing Diamond and Pearl a couple times. The first time I picked up the game, it was one of my first video games, and it was when I first learned that my dad had a Nintendo DS Lite. I was like, whoa, that's cool. It's a cool video game system. Because I think before then, all I played on was the PS2 and the PS3. So I think that was my first real Nintendo console that I played, other than the Wii. And you can call that not a console, but no, I will, and to each their own. But yeah, and when I first picked it up, for one, it was at low battery, so I couldn't really do much before I had to put it away. But I didn't know that there was a staircase because the graphics weren't great. So I just wandered aimlessly around the room. I did all of the things that I had to read. I just never happened to walk down the stairs. Which, kind of funny, but... Yeah, and then you saw an Ico. Wandered around the first room for like 15 minutes. I mean, in the video, I think I shortened it down to just like a minute. Just me wandering around the first room, totally missing the fact that there was a lever. But I mean, it's far more inexcusable in Pokemon, where it's just like, it was a one-screen room, and I was just wandering around for like 15 minutes. Then again, I was also like 9, so... But the problem has been, I mean, the DS is one of my favorite Nintendo consoles / handhelds, whatever you want to call them. Like Nintendo entertainment devices, I guess we can call them. And recently, or I guess not even recently, it was like a year ago, over a year ago, where my DS started to break. Like, the touch screen started to not be readable, and so my dad made the decision to, instead of send it into a repair shop, because there weren't many, you know, we decided to repair it ourselves. And when we swapped out the screen, we bought a new screen, we put it in, we totally messed with the wiring of the Switch. Not the Switch, sorry, DS. We haven't done anything to our Switch. But we totally messed with the wiring of the DS. But we switched out the screen, both screens. When we went to turn it back on, it flashed at us and turned off. And that was annoying. So I have a stack of like 20-something games that I can't play because the system doesn't work. So now the question is, do I send it in, or like, do we send it in to an actual repair person, or do we just go and buy a new system? I think DS Lites are like $100, but the question at this point, actually, I think it's more like 60, $70. I'll look it up in a sec. But ultimately, like, the question comes down to, do I want to replace the DS Lite, or do I want to upgrade to a 3DS? And a 3DS costs like $200. So that would be a big change. It's over double. But I will look it up in a sec in terms of Amazon pricing. Because I would love to have a DS Lite. Like that's a big, love to do that. But then again, I'd also love to play 3D Land, but I don't think there's anything else in the 3DS that I really want to play. 3D Land might come somewhere else at some point. So I might just go ahead and buy a brand new DS. DS Lite, obviously, yeah. That would be a fun, I love DS. I've played so much on that thing, and before the Switch, that would be my video game system I play in the car. Back when my brother and I shared an iPad, whenever he would be on the iPad, I would go over and I would pull out the DS and I'd play on that. There were just so many games on that thing I loved. Like Pokemon, Diamond and Pearl. Played a lot of Clubhouse games, like the original Clubhouse games for DS. Not the weird new one that they have out, but digress. Had the first two Puzzle Quests, many of the Professor Layton games. Those were a lot of fun. Had a Michael Jackson game. Like, this is all in my bedroom drawer. I just put them all in there. And during distance learning last year, before we went and fixed the screen, I played a lot of games under my bed. I have like a loft bed, so I have a bed. It's like a bunk bed, except the bottom bunk is a desk. So I would go under the desk, put a beanbag under there, and just play games under there. In between classes, or during lunch, or something like that. Oh, we've hit the NJ vein. So once we finish doing this layer, I will look up the pricing for a Nintendo DS. What other games do I have? Oh, I can tell you about my first video game ever. Toy Story 3. The video game was my first ever video game. Which is cool. Yeah, well, I mean, I personally enjoyed it a fair amount. Probably more than I should have, but first video game, like, whoa, I can make, because watching TV, it's like, oh my gosh, this is like a TV show, except I can, or this is Toy Story, but I can move Woody around, and that was mind blowing to me. Despite most of the audience just being like, yeah, cool. Woohoo! And I'm sure that's like what other movie video games are for other people. Like maybe there's a 9-year-old who grew up with the original Lego Movie video game, and they're like, "Whoa, this is the Lego Movie, but I can move the Lego guy around." I forget what the Lego guy's called. There's someone who just posted something in my chat, and it doesn't sound very good, so I'm reporting you for that, because that's usually what it is, and boom. Alright, someone just posted something inappropriate in my chat. Anyway, it was a bot, obviously. I just posted an inappropriate link that I am not going to click on, because from what I've heard, that stuff leads to content for people over the age of 18, which I am not. I am barely old enough to make videos on this platform. Okay. Oh yeah, back to Toy Story. So, I mean, it's a very, very simple game. Like, you're just going through the plot of the movie, except with a few twists and turns. And I'd play through it so many times, like with my dad, and I distinctly remember getting up at 5 in the morning, like setting an alarm, getting up at 5 in the morning. It's just like first grade or something like that, to play Toy Story 3. And later it would be like, later I'd stop playing Toy Story 3 and I'd get into some of the more advanced games. So there came a time where I started watching my dad play video games. Okay, we just finished the layer. I'm going to look up the pricing for a Nintendo DS. I'll finish that story, the story of the thingy in a little bit. Hold on, let's just get Amazon.com. Okay. Let's see. So, Nintendo DS Lite. I was very wrong with the different with the pricing of this. Very off. The DS Lite is about $200. The 3DS is about $300. So never mind. Never mind. What I was saying, I was like, oh yeah, I can pop $60 on a Nintendo DS. Nope. That's a bigger purchase than just an impulse buy. And that does make the upgrade to 3DS but more enticing, So anyway, going back to the story of me watching, or my experience with video games early on, I would watch my dad play video games a lot, because I was not good enough. My hand-eye coordination was not great enough to play them myself and actually get very far in the story. Usually I'd make it to maybe through the tutorial, if I got lucky. So I would watch my dad play games like Spyro the Dragon, Ratchet and Clank. We went through all of the Spyro the Dragon games and all of the Ratchet and Clank games. Sometimes he'd let me stay up past my bedtime just so I could watch him play, which was cool. We just lost night vision again. Oh. Yeah, I just realized. I need to go. I just drop them. You know, they fall, and then they despawn in 5 minutes. So they aren't going to do too much harm. I don't know. Never mind what I was saying. That was just me. Blah, 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 blah. Let's see, other games I watched my dad play. I think I watched him do Dragon Quest. I don't think we got very far in Dragon Quest 8. That was the only one I really watched him play. Oh, speaking of games I have on the Nintendo DS, Dragon Quest 9 is a big one. Another one which I never got very far in. Ooh, we can talk about this. So, resetting games. When is the best time to reset a game? So, there are certain games. I feel like for most people, the answer for most games is when you've beaten it. Like when there's nothing else to do, you can reset. Others, and this is usually my answer to this, when you've been out for a really long time. Been out for a really, really long time, and you just don't know how to play the game anymore, so you just have to go through the control, replay the tutorial, right? And, that's an option, right? The third, in my opinion, is not a good idea to do. But it's what I did as a kid a lot. As a young kid, I would constantly reset after I beat the tutorial. I'd beat the tutorial, I'd stop playing, and then they'd come back the next day and instantly reset the game. I mean, call me stupid, right? Call me whatever you want, but I think on games I would choose to do that on, I'd know that I couldn't really get past the tutorial. So I think what I'd do, okay, I'll give you an example. Ratchet and Clank 1. Right, that's a pretty well-known game, and I would constantly go through the game's first 2 levels, or something like that. I'll explain in a sec. Okay. So, in the first Ratchet game, right, I would tend to hit the reset button after completing on the 3rd level of the game. So, I would go through, go through the game's tutorial, which is the planet Veldin, if you weren't aware. Then I would move through the game's, I don't want to call it, I'd move through the game's first real level, we'll call it, Novalis. Which, pretty basic level. Then I would move on to Kerwan. So first I'd do everything I could on Novalis. So I'd do the first two storylines, the two storylines that unlock planets. And yeah. Then I would go to Kerwan, which is the place with the Quark obstacle course. Here's where I get to really the meat of why I like to reset the game at that point. The obstacle course. I loved that thing so much. I love watching the show American Ninja Warrior. So I loved the whole obstacle course thing and jump up the tower, and it was something I could do relatively easily. It was a challenge. Some parts of it certainly were. Especially the second layer with the moving thing. But I'd get to the top of the tower, and I would come to that third island, which I feel like I'm talking about this, and you're probably not even going to know what I'm talking about if you have never played Ratchet. So I'll explain it. The Quark obstacle course, it's 3 sets of islands, right? First one, everything is pretty stationary. The second one, the stuff moves, so it's based around moving walls and stuff. The third one is where things start to get kind of interesting, where hold on. Yep. We are currently at Y179. This is Y180. Okay. We have something new to add to our arsenal. And we have something to remove from our arsenal. Because Y180, I think, is a pretty good spot to switch from coal to redstone. Redstone. Oh. Night vision's about to go. So anyway, Quark obstacle course. It's a spot where, so you have 3 islands, right? The first one, stuff doesn't move. The second one, stuff does move. And the third is where you pick up the slingshot, which lets you shoot out it's basically like a grappling hook. So you shoot out a grappling hook, and then you go to wherever it takes you. The problem is, once I would get to this third island, I would have no idea how to actually maneuver through it. To get to the end, right? And so I would just not. Just stop. Leave. And start over. And I really liked doing this section, and also the waterworks section in Novalis, which was also a fairly easy platforming section. And I would constantly replay these as much as I possibly could while still getting the stuff. And for spoilers, obviously, this is a 2001 game. I don't really need to say spoilers for it, but I will anyway. You get, once you finish this waterworks section, or whatever, you unlock, or you get to slide down this slide, which I thought was really fun, just to go down the slide back to the start of the level. You just slide down a sewer pipe, pretty much. I thought that was absolutely hilarious, and so I wanted to try it. So I did that once or twice. I don't know. I don't know what else to say. So I really like the early part of the first Ratchet and Clank game, and I really like the early parts of, I think, the first 3 Ratchet and Clank games. So I would constantly boot them up, play through the first couple levels, and quit. Restart and start over. And as I began to get older, I started to play through more of the game. So I would, boot it up and be like, all right, I'm going to do a playthrough where I beat this game, right? But that's usually not, it wouldn't usually go to plan, right? So I would usually end up, say, I don't know, I'd get to a certain point, get really stuck, or I'd just get bored of the game and stop playing for a while. And usually I would end up in that second category where I have just forgotten how to play the game, or I don't know where I am in the story. And I just quit, start over, boom, here we go again. And my dad absolutely hates doing that. Thinks it's a horrid idea to do. But I did it for a while. Nowadays, though, like that I do things on stream, and so I can go back and look at stream. And also, in general, I just play fewer games. And when you play fewer games, you tend not to really forget how they go. Or it's usually something basic like Mario. Like, everyone knows how to play Mario. You just jump. I think the big thing that I have trouble adjusting to is the camera. Because some games, like Minecraft, don't have a switch for camera. So you have to do them on the way I personally think is inferior, which is standard. So you push your right analog stick right, and the camera moves right. You push it left, and it moves left. I personally like the camera controls where you are you tilt left and you go right, and versus you tilting right and you go left. But I do like up and down in a sense, which is super weird, right? For a multitude of reasons. Like, I like having up and down be up and down. I never really grasped the concept of going down to go up. So when I first played Minecraft, that was a big thing that deterred me away from the game. And something I still wish they would mess with, do some things with that. Okay, I think we're good on the ores front. Let's add in some veins of things. Some deep slate. Okay, let's do it all this way. I don't know if this is how it's laid out in the game, but when it generates, it's the way I'm going to personally lay it out because they'll all be in the same direction regardless. Actually, I don't think they will be, but who cares? With night vision again, we have to refill. Alright, we can now get going with some granite veins. Alright, cool. Pretty small andesite vein, but who cares? Job at looking at chat. Like, someone might have been in my chat typing things that, people would actually want to read. And I might just not have noticed them because, well, I'm just stupid, but digress. Wonder if Minecraft has actually gone ahead and removed I don't know what they're called, but I removed the feature that's why am I forgetting it? Oh, the deep slate spawning above Y0. Like, originally that was just going to be a 1.17 thing, but kind of hope it would be a 1.18 thing, but I don't know if it's going to be a 1.18 thing. Alright, we're done with that. Now, should I do this in the correct way this time? So, we start here. Oh, we just hit an hour, by the way, so we're probably going to stop soon. But we are going to okay. Okay. How do I want to do this? Oh, sorry, did I say that out loud? I'm an idiot. I obviously what I'm doing right now is pretty easy to know how I'm going to do it because I'm just going to place blocks like a normal person. So I'm starting a little, like, very similar to the way that 1.18 is. So, so like coal can only be found above a certain height, in this case 180 or higher. And then deep slate and redstone both can only be found on or below by 180. Lava as well. I'm going to put a little bit of lava in here. I think just one pool. That way, I can get obsidian on this thing. No, it's just an option. But I guess if there's no diamonds on this thing, you can't mine the obsidian, so I don't know what it would be for, but each their own. That one goes there. So we make the cut. Hopefully that light, like the activatedness of it, will end up tuning or toning down, because, like, I don't know, I don't want to have to replace all of this. Okay. So I'm going to finish this layer, and then I'm going to stop. This is layer 14 out of I don't know how many, probably like 20 or so. I doubt that you're going to see another one of these videos, another one of these streams. Simply because, I'm now starting to be able to do 2 of these in just over an hour, which, because they're getting smaller, which will allow me to move quicker. eventually, pretty soon. Probably in a few more hours. So basically, I've been working for 12 hours plus this hour, so it's 13 hours. But we'll round it down to 12. No. Yeah, we'll round it down to 12. Wait, no, but we're going up. Never mind. Round it up to 13. We'll keep it at 13. "13 hours I've worked on this so far." We'll see how this goes. Okay. So, let's see. How close are we to finishing this? I have absolutely no idea. I mean, we're thinning out this first area, so that might be a good sign. Oh, alright, so we're reaching the end of this part. Cool, cool, cool. So it's not the end of the whole thing, but it's a pretty good chunk of it. Alright, so we just have to do this end and then the big rectangle in the center. And we're done. For today, at least, you know. That's going to be all you're going to see of this, though, until it does come out, the video. Okay. So that's that end, and we do this short little bit, and then we can get going with the square, and then we're going to be done for today. But you're not going to see any more. I always say that. I'm saying that a bunch of times. But you're not going to see any more of this once I am finished. We can move on to a whole, the golf. I think we're going to do a whole new world. Or all major glitches. We'll see how I feel. I don't know why, but this section always feels the longest, despite not actually being the longest. Or like, no, of this. Of step 4, doing the square is usually the rectangle, whatever. It always feels the longest, just because you aren't moving around a lot. I don't think I'm actually like placing the most blocks here, and while I do think this is a long section, I don't think it's as long as the first bit that we do with the huge amount of, I guess the second bit that we do. Going for, it spans about half the island. So yeah. Oh, my night vision's wearing off, that sucks. We'll get to the end of this row. Oh, thing is still on. Hmm. Still as on as ever. So if it is the case that the redstone isn't going to turn back to normal color, then we're going to want to be aware of that and not change its color. Alright, I think I'm just about done for today. Yeah, this isn't changing back, so we'll do it that way. I think I'm just done at this point, you know. There's absolutely nothing else I could possibly have to do, you know, other than obviously plug this hole. This is annoying. I want to get rid of it. Boom. Okay. Okay. Much better. So looking at that, like, it's becoming more and more shallow, less and less wide. What's cool about this is mobs still spawn up here. I haven't checked to see if nighttime mobs spawn up here, but that would be cool if they did. All right, so I'm gonna take a quick break. And when I come back, we will do some What the Golf. One moment. Alright. Hi, I'm back. You might hear my brother screaming in the other room. So I'm going to be muted for a lot of this. Alright, so I'm back. We're going to be doing what the golf. Decided we're doing AMG. Meaning making use of all any major glitch I want in the game to get from start to the projector. Current world record is 8 minutes by me. Here we go. It's actually 8 minutes 12 seconds, but I didn't feel like saying the 12 seconds part. First attempt, not bad. 3, 2, 1, go. If we're going by in-game time, my best would be 6:54. 3, 2, 1, go. Three, 2, 1, go. I should be able to save a few seconds on tutorial. Just doing this fast. 3, 2, 1, go. Because when I got my world record, that was back when common strats were just to, or at least for me, my strat would be to hesitate at the start of every hole. In the tutorial, that's not what I do anymore. Go as soon as I'm able to. Whoa! That was a fast intro. Somehow. I don't know how, but that was my fastest 2D I've seen. So see how this goes down? Okay. I went too early there. Still though, 112 hole-in-one is not bad. Perfect putt. Go. Alright, we will be losing some time here, I think. Cliffhanger. Alright. Good. So we're picking up 4 crowns in this run. This is the first of the 4. All 4 crowns we pick up in this run will be from the 2D section. For a reason I will explain in a second, or a bit. No, once we get all the crowns. Alright. Not what I wanted to do, but okay. Here we go. Good, good, good. Put down now. Now we do stick it. try again. There we go. Not bad, not bad. Yeah, could use some work. We did fall a bit behind because we failed the... I mean, if we have a good multi-ball, though. Good multi-ball can save us here. There we go. Alright, alright. Alright. Oh, I'm an idiot. Alright, well. Now we're going to be losing some time here. The categories run on real time now, by the way, so... Okay. I pressed the wrong button on accident. I mean, hey, there is a chance. We are 7 seconds behind, but there is a chance. There goes the chance. Just kill it. It's over. Yeah. That's annoying. Alright, world record has just finished. See if I still even have it in me. So, alright. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.